the darkness always teems with unexplained sound, and yet sometimes I shake with fear lest the noises I hear should subside and allow me to hear certain other, fainter noises which I suspect are lurking behind them. Possibly I ought not to have studied so hard. Non-Euclidean calculus and quantum physics are enough to stretch any brain, and when one mixes them with folklore and tries to trace a strange background of multidimensional reality behind the wild whispers of the Gothic novels, one can hardly expect to be wholly free from mental tension. 1692. Old Keziah Mason vanishes from Salem jail without a trace. Now, the jail keeper had gone mad and babbled of a small, white-fanged, furry thing which had escaped from Keziah's cell. And not even Cotton Mather could explain the lines and curves that had been drawn on the walls of her cell in a red, sticky fluid. Now, in her trial, she had told Judge Hawthorne of lines and curves that could be made to point out directions leading through the walls of space to other spaces beyond, and had implied that such lines and curves were frequently used at midnight meetings on a small, unpeopled island in the river. Then she had drawn these devices on the walls of her cell and vanished. Hoping to find some insight, I rowed out to this ill-regarded island and discovered intersecting lines of ancient moss-grown stones. Something in their seemingly random arrangement obsessed me. Through sleepless nights, I began to parse out their fractal geometries. When I read them in the context of ancient forbidden texts like the Necronomicon of Al-Zared, I was astounded to find correlations to my own academic work on space-time topology. Implying a level of scientific knowledge hundreds of years ahead of their time. Now that is why I tracked down the old witch house. For it was this house and this very room which harbored old Keziah Mason before her trial. I could not have told what I expected to find here, but I knew that I wanted to be in the building where some circumstance had more or less suddenly given a mediocre old woman of the 17th century insight into mathematical depths beyond the utmost delvings of Einstein, Heisenberg, or Gödel. My first few months in the house were squalid, yet uneventful. The dreams began in February. They are wholly beyond the pale of sanity. They consist largely in plunges through limitless abysses of twilight and bafflingly disordered sound, cluttered with impossible geometric forms of multidimensional prisms, labyrinths, clusters of lines and cubes, octopi, cyclopean buildings, living Hindu idols, and intricate arabesques roused into kind of Ophidian animation. Now, with each successive plunge into the void, I can feel the limited horizons of my own perception exponentially expanded. I can now effortlessly understand the complex interactions of seven-dimensional hypercubes. It's usually beyond the feeble processing power of the human mind. And yet, the more clearly I can see these abyssal denizens, so too, the more clearly do they seem to see me. And whenever one of them appears by its motions to notice me, I feel a sharp, hideous fright, which generally jolts me awake. Now, these dreams are separated enough from reality that alone they would be endurable, were they not invariably prefaced by certain lighter, sharper dreams in which I am visited by Brown Jenkins. That blasphemous and diminutive hybrid which witnesses claim they saw escaping from Keziah's cell. Now, it has the body of a rat, but its bearded face is evilly human. Its paws, tiny human hands. Its voice is a kind of loathsome titter, and it can speak all languages. I will be lying in the dark, fighting to keep awake, when a faint lambent glow will seem to shimmer around the sanctuary room. The horror will pop out of the rat hole in the corner and patter towards me over the sagging wide panel floor with evil expectancy on its tiny, bearded human face. In my sleeping state, I will be powerless to recoil as it patters up to me and by no fewer than, than 11 people in 1692. It is surely a remarkable case of paranoid herd delusion. I try to stop up the rattle every day, but every night the real denizens of the partition gnaw through the obstruction, whatever. My health is steadily deteriorated to a dire state. But I have not yet consulted a doctor, since each deeper plunge into fever dream has led to a greater leap forward in my studies. The influence of this old house is unwholesome, I cannot deny, but surely the fever alone is responsible for my nightly fantasies. When the touch of fate, I will be free from these monstrous visions. These visions are so vivid, beyond any dreams I have ever known, and on waking, I retain a vague sense of having undergone far more than I can remember. Recall in the morning how they pronounced strange words like Azathoth. I am on a high, fantastically balustrade terrace, overlooking a boundless Cyclopean city which glitters gorgeously in the polychromatic sky. Looking up, I can see 3 stupendous discs of flame above an infinitely distant curving horizon of low mountains. Back across the terrace, I see a creature of indescribable horror, pulpy, tentacled head on a scaly body with rudimentary wings. It beckons to me, and I feel myself compelled to follow. It leads me to a large atrium, at the center of which lies a small stone dais where wait Brown Jenkin, a monstrous, leering, bent old woman. On the altar between them lies a small white figure, an infant boy. The woman intones a croaking ritual in a language I cannot understand as she raises a gleaming, grotesquely hafted knife and an oddly proportioned pale metal bowl. The fear and apprehension I feel are entirely overwhelmed by a sense of power and joy surging through me. I am unable to control my own actions. The veil of time slips, and I can see the conversions of all spaces, all moments. I hear the hellish alien rhythm chant of the Sabbat, rising from an infinite distance, the prayers to the crawling chaos, now turning to a triumphant shriek.